Hey, what's up Guardians? TBL here from PlanetDestiny, and in today's video, we're going to be continuing our coverage of Destiny at E3. We'll be covering information about interviews, exclusives, and brand new game modes. So without further ado, let's dive on in. The Taken King continues to roll in, with IGN providing exclusive footage of one of Crucible's brand new game modes, Rift. Rift is Destiny's answer to Capture the Flag, and it represents another addition to objective-based PvP, which the game has admittedly been lacking. The objective is to claim a neutral spark, and upon reviving it, take it to the opposing team's rift within 2 minutes to slam it home for capture points. All the while, you have to keep an eye out for your enemies and kill them with extreme prejudice, especially when protecting your own rift or guarding the runner with the spark. As you dunk the spark into the other team's rift, it'll kill any enemies in the immediate surroundings and announce rift ignited to the rest of your team to indicate that you scored. Now at this point, you'll have a brief period before the next spark spawns, and the fight to control it for transport will be on again. Now, unlike standard Capture the Flag, this game mode isn't round-based, but is instead an ongoing fight. To this end, fortifying positions and playing conservatively are welcome tactics. After all, there is only one flag, and the spark must be charged by having one teammate stand near it before it can be carried. This presents a uniquely interesting dialectic of offense and defense that may have to shift at a moment's notice. One moment you could be 1 second away from charging the spark. The next, your team could be wiped out by a Nova Bomb and scrambling to defend the rift from the other. We're hoping that the game mode promotes strategy and team play above individual heroics. Now in further detail, the runner possesses full use of his or her weapons, in addition to a light increase to damage resistance. This, of course, comes at the cost of having a target painted on the runner's back that tells the enemy exactly where he or she is at all times. You'll have to pick your fights if you're one-on-one with the runner while defending, and support him or her aggressively if you're on offense, or else the spark will be up for grabs again pretty quickly. Now, if you manage to make progress towards the enemy's rift, you'll be given 100 points for each of the 5 distance checkpoints, broadcasting messages of your Guardian being inbound or closing in as he or she nears the rift. These points will be crucial to your team winning the overall fight, as kills can only get you so far. In the video, we can see the point of view of a single player playing Rift, using what appears to be a new scout rifle and fusion rifle. Now, the scout rifle had the Midas shot sound effect, and the fusion rifle has an aesthetic similar to Hardlight. But alright, moving on to some other news. Destiny community manager Deej, who was available to answer questions during the discussion of the Rift gameplay, confirmed that all Destiny PlayStation exclusive content will become available for Xbox users on day 1 of the Taken King. This includes the Hawk Moon as well as the Fourth Horseman and the Dust Palace and Undying Mind strikes. It's about time, and I know a lot of you ex-pro Guardians out there have been waiting for your chance to get the mighty Hawk Moon. Now, of course, a whole new host of PlayStation exclusive gear and content will open up on the same day, and be locked down for another year as per year 1's pattern. So for you PlayStation players out there, you'll still be getting new exclusive content first. Now, when it comes to Oryx, Deej mused that he would rather let us discover him for ourselves, but he also assured us that he was an all-new type of fun and challenging enemy, not simply a giant knight with wings. He offered similar praise about the design team's work on the Taken, whom he said represent a whole new paradigm when it comes to enemy encounters in the PvE sandbox. Now, when it came time to discuss a couple of recurring issues, Deej's feedback was ambiguous, with lots of buzzwords and very few concrete answers. This was in response to questions about the revival of old weapons from before the Dark Below, such as the Shadow Price, the Swarm, the Devil You Know, and, more significantly, the outlook of vault space moving forward. He equivocated somewhat, claiming that one of the goals of Bungie was to get Guardians to take a look at what role they want to take in PvE, and choose which weapons they need as a result of this. He stated that he too enjoys collecting, but that you can't collect everything, and it would be boring to have a marriage to the same gun for 10 years. Now, reading between the lines a bit here, it seems Bungie hasn't quite figured out how to solve the issue of vault space, and Deej's words definitely sound like some post-hoc justification for simply not having enough room to put things. But of course, Deej is in a pretty tough spot. Bungie knows that the issue of vault space is not clerical but actually tied into recall of server-side storage, and thus it's sort of held back by previous generations and an unreasonable demand on memory. Hopefully, they'll get something figured out to give Deej some ammunition for the next live query. Now, Deej concluded the interview by discussing some of the new maps available with the Taken King: Frontier, Bannerfall, Sector 618, a PS exclusive, and Crossroads. They are apparently well balanced to accompany objective-based games, with symmetrical layouts to prevent one side having an undue advantage, which is of course great news. We definitely don't want another Blind Watch. He also mentioned that man cannons are going to be coming back to Bungie games, offering an instant, if risky, high-speed transportation across maps. Vehicular combat is not a priority this time, which is kind of a bummer for fans of Combined Arms, and doesn't suggest that maps like Bastion or First Light are going to be the template for PvP moving forward. So it looks like if you want to continue playing on those super large vehicle-driven maps, you are going to be confined to the Combined Arms playlist. And that's pretty much it for the interview. Big thanks to IGN for providing the footage for review, and a special thanks to Deej for the candid and personable Q&A session. We're definitely looking forward to what the Taken King has to offer, and Rift's early footage suggests that it'll be a fun addition to Destiny's burgeoning Crucible world. Now, one last thing. Even though you can see a light level 50 Guardian in the video, it appears as though this is due to an outdated E3 build, and may not actually make it into the release. This was brought up and addressed by Professor Broman on Twitter, and then was answered by Eric Osborne, who stated that it's absolutely not 100% confirmed. Alright, that's it for this one, guys. Keep an eye on Planet Destiny for everything Taken King, and let us hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Anyways, that's it for me now. As always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.
Really interesting. I want to keep it focused on multiplayer for just a second.
Fine.
We didn't even talk about Mayhem.
Yes.
What's that about?
Mayhem is just total chaos. It is a team deathmatch variant, but your super abilities, your super attack, it charges much more quickly. So we actually have that hands-on right here in the Sony booth, and it's the great mode that we can use to show people how these new super abilities and how these new super attacks can change the sandbox. So it's going to be attack after attack after attack. We just crank everything up to 11.
How do you balance something like that? Everybody's just throwing supers all the time.
Everybody's throwing supers all the time. It's
Yeah.
really, it's a matter of how the different supers can counter each other. You still want to pick that perfect moment, right? If you use your super on one combatant, you're depriving yourself of an opportunity to score a multi-kill. This might not be the strategic, somebody who loves something like Trials of Osiris might not like Mayhem, but somebody that just wants explosive fun, this is something for them.
Cool. Let's talk about value. So with the Taken King, it's $40 just for the code, right?
Yeah, so if you have everything that Destiny has had to offer, you've played Destiny, you've played The Dark Below, you've played House of Wolves, you can adapt to the Taken King for a $40 upgrade fee. That's going to give you a full campaign. We're opening a new destination for you to go and conquer and then explore again and again and again. I'm the director. You'll get your new subclass, new multiplayer modes, new multiplayer maps, new strikes. We're doing things to sort of reappropriate some of the strikes that you've known and bring them forward into this new scenario where you're fighting the Taken. We're doing a lot of interesting things to extend the Destiny adventure into a second year. So really, we're looking at this as a major expansion.
I played the campaign mission over there at your booth, and I noticed there's a cutscene at the beginning. I'm like, wow, this is really great. Is it going to be great the 5th time I watch it? Will I be able to skip it if I want to?
I don't know if we're skipping cutscenes yet.
So I actually have a quote from Justin Truman, the dev lead on Taken King, and he said you can skip all cutscenes with the release of this DLC.
Well, then what are you asking me for?
I'm just making. I want to clarify on the air.
You talked to one of the smart people that actually
Bungie.
makes the game. Yeah, if Justin Truman says you can skip cutscenes, we must be able to.
Okay, that's awesome.
Okay.
Well, let's move back to the story elements a little bit and talk a little bit about Oryx.
Oryx.
Yeah.
The Taken King.
I have to think about it. I'm like, Crota's his son. You kill his son. You're going to go kill Oryx. Yeah.
Or he's going to come kill you. He's very angry.
Yeah. So I made a joke. I said, oh, he's not just a bigger knight. He's a bigger knight with wings on Twitter. Is that true? Is he just a reskin? What have you done to like make him unique?
No, we've created all new characters for the Taken King. Oryx has his own terrible abilities. Oryx is he's a figure I'm going to let you discover for yourself. He's a member of the Hive race. So he is imbued with his own power. He's imbued with his own terrible purpose. Really, the Taken are the new thing in Destiny. So he has done things to raise an army for himself, ripping people out of our dimension, mutating them with the darkness, and sending them back to fight us. So that's really where the surprise lies, because the Taken have all different ways to fight. They're sort of the reimagined race, the new combatant that you'll be fighting throughout the course of the Taken King.
And with that, it looks like you're going to get a ton of new gear, a ton of new weapons. I don't have anywhere to put that stuff. Are you looking at that issue?
Yeah, we're always taking a look at these things.
The vault space specifically?
The vault space specifically. We'll see how it plays out. I can tell you that one of the interesting things about Destiny is deciding how you want your Guardian to truly be unique. I understand the desire to collect. I like to collect myself, but at the same time, we can only use one weapon in every category at any moment in time. I've found that players most tend to stick to 3, 4, maybe 5 weapons. So choosing how your Guardian is truly unique is part of the Destiny player experience. So there are moments where we ask you to make tough decisions, but those are decisions that lead you to better understanding the role that you play in this living social world and on this dynamic battlefield.
Is there anything you can tell us about the raid?
I can tell you it's there.
It's there.
I can tell you that Luke Smith is around here somewhere, and there's no way I'm going to reveal any secrets about the raid. It'll be a 6-player activity. It will be the most challenging aspect of the Taken King, and you're going to need to master the new things that we're giving you. You're going to add those things to your arsenal so that you can use them at your disposal in the raid.
There was an article recently saying that vanilla Destiny weapons are actually a lot stronger and more proficient in PvP than some of the new weapons. Like, you can re-roll the new ones, but like that original Fellwinter's Lie is just devastating. Are you ever going to bring back the classic weapons so that players can have access to those again? Or are they just gone?
You're talking about Shadow Price.
Shadow Price would be one of them.
Shadow, yeah, I got a Shadow Price. You know, in terms of the weapons in Destiny, being there on day one, playing in the Crucible, earning your marks, buying that Shadow Price for the Vanguard, keeping it in your vault, these are the decisions that you make. I'm far more interested in the new weapons that you're going to have a chance to use. You know, always giving you something new to master. Always giving you something new to add to your arsenal. I think Destiny would be a pretty boring game if you had a marriage to the same gun for 10 years. So that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to inspire and provoke players to adapt to new combat proficiencies, add new things to their arsenal, give them new weapons and new abilities that they can master, so that their Guardians become more powerful but in different ways over time.
Have you done anything new to the graphical engine in the game? It seems like it looks a lot prettier, honestly.
Does it really?
Yeah, in the campaign section that we played through, it looked great.
Well, you know, the artists love to iterate on this world. You know, they love to do different things to, you know, sort of capture your imagination, make you feel like you're going to a place that you want to explore, to put you in a world that you want to be in. I think that's really what you're noticing.
And trophies? Will there be new trophies with the Taken King?
All to be revealed in time.
All to be revealed in time. So I noticed in the Vidoc that you released today, there is a large shank. Now, I keep getting Prison of Elder weapons that have shank burn. Is this what their purpose is?
Say that again. In the Vidoc, you saw what?
In the Vidoc, there's a large shank-type enemy that you fight. Is the reason that we've been getting Prison of Elder shank burn weapons for this combatant?
No.
No.
No. I would say that you know, this is its own adventure. The House of Wolves has been, you know, a great experience. We've loved to see the community go in there, you know, fight the fallen. The Taken King provides you with its own challenge. The Taken, as an opponent, will provide you with different types of threats, and you're going to have to adapt to the way you play the game. You're going to have to acquire new things. You're going to have to master new supers to confront that threat and to overcome it.
Okay. We're actually looking at one of the new multiplayer maps right now. What are we looking at?
This one appears to be Frontier. It's on the outskirts of the last safe city on Earth. Right here at E3, we have 2 hands-on player experiences. So we've got Rift in the Activision booth. We've got Mayhem in the Sony booth. Okay. So we are playing Rift on 2 new maps. They are Frontier. As I said, Frontier is a great objective mode. There's also Bannerfall, which takes place in an abandoned tower. It's a great balanced map, nice symmetrical space for an objective game type. And then for Mayhem, we have 2 new maps. We've got the Sony exclusive map, which is Sector 618. Takes place in a decommissioned spot of the Breach in the Cosmodrome. And then we've got Crossroads, which is a Martian oasis, and man cannons are coming back to Bungie games.
Cool.
So we'll send you flying through the air if you so choose. Just be advised, choose those moments carefully, because as you can attest, there's nothing a Guardian loves more than an airborne target who can't run away or fight back.
What about vehicle combat? If you're doing man cannons, are there going to be vehicles there?
The maps that we're displaying right now don't focus on vehicular combat. The vehicles are really more a matter of you know, the PvE adventures where you're covering more ground.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Deej. It was great talking
Always
with you.
Always a pleasure.